Jim Monaghan, Chris Swendeman. We're back with another 2 Minute Drill podcast. And Swendeman, you know where we're starting, and that would be with your New York Knickerbockers, who look just like complete world beaters after being down 2 games to 1 to the Atlanta Hawks. What they have done, I can't recall the last time an NBA team has cruised through the playoffs the way this Knicks team has.
This team, and neither one of us are Knicks fans. I have not enjoyed watching basketball this much to not be the Celtics, and of all teams, the Knicks. This much, and I can't remember when. They are so much fun and so exciting and just so dominant. I mean, listen, OKC and San Antonio, as of when we're recording this, they're still going tooth and nail. This is going to be a really good series. I think it's going to go. I see this going 7. Now that benefits the Knicks even more. But OKC, the reigning champ, and you know what they say, you got to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. They could figure this out. But San Antonio, very tough with Wemby. I mean, that kid is just an absolute animal. But either way, this is like a loaded freight train. And whoever comes out of the West, you're standing on the tracks, and the Knicks are coming right through. This team is so exciting to watch, and they just have something that is so dominating right now. Even the announcers are like, they don't know what to say anymore. I think they ran out of adjectives to describe this team. And go ahead.
I was going to say, it's the elimination games that really impress me the most.
Yeah.
They're up against the Hawks. On the road, they win by 51. Did Atlanta even bother to show up for the game? In Philadelphia, on the road, they win the final game by 30. And then against Cleveland, on the road, 37 points.
Yeah.
I mean, and that game was never close. It was never close. When was the last time Brunson needed to play in the fourth quarter of any of these last few series?
Every clinching game of this playoffs, Brunson has been on the bench because they didn't need him. Think of that. That's their best player. That's the guy who got the East MVP last night for the playoffs by a unanimous decision. And they haven't used him in the fourth quarter of any clinching game. That is insane. And it's almost mind-blowing how good this team is. And for all the years, I have 2 of my dearest friends are diehard Knicks fans. I was on a chat with them last night. As soon as the game was over, I texted them both. I said, I love you both like brothers. I'm so happy for the both of you. This is coming from a Celtics fan. I said, good luck and enjoy this run because you guys are watching a team that is just absolutely dominating the entire NBA. And you'd be hard pressed, even though I don't want to jinx it for all my friends that are Knicks fans, you'd be hard pressed to make a case that this isn't just a team of destiny at this point. I mean, they are just plowing through the competition and they've made it look easy. I don't remember the last time any team, maybe a Lakers team, maybe a Celtics team along the way, and even that have looked so dominant, just getting their way to the NBA finals the way this Knicks team has done.
An 11-0 run, and out of those 11 games, only 1 has been decided by less than 10 points. And again, what they're doing, you talk about getting a team down and then just crushing them. It's amazing to watch. And again, like you just said, I cannot recall the last time I watched an NBA team just cruise through the playoffs like this. You have the 2 best teams, or at least in terms of record, with the Spurs and the Thunder going at it in the Western division. So we're going to see what happens when one of those 2 faces up against the Knicks. I think it's a long series. I don't see the Knicks blowing either of them out.
No.
But then again, You
We
look at
didn't.
what the Knicks
Right.
have done, and especially these elimination games. Your back is against the wall, and you're getting just pummeled. 51 points, 30 points, and 37 points in your own building. Although I should point out that Knick fans made the Garden, especially the Knicks are wearing their home whites
Right.
in Cleveland for the
Yep.
decisive game. You listen to that crowd, you look at the Knick uniform, and you're like, boy, Madison Square Garden looks awfully different. And, Philadelphia, it was
Yeah.
a Knick
Oh,
home game. There is no question about that.
I mean, you had, and then Cleveland. It's Cleveland, so they're not used to like a lot of stars showing up. You had Spike Lee, Fat Joe, Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, and so many others courtside in Cleveland because they all traveled. Thousands of Knicks fans traveled, which probably in reality it's probably cheaper to go all the way to Cleveland to watch the game than it was to go to New York and spend tickets at the Garden. But we digress. Um, but I mean, everybody traveled to go see this team because I think every Knicks fan wants to enjoy every minute of what they're watching because of so many years of futility. And I'm telling you right now, Jim, they win this. Jalen wrote, Jalen, why did I just blank on his name? Um,
Brunson,
Jalen Brunson, thank
thank
you.
you. You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Brain cramp.
That's why I'm here.
Brunson, exactly. Brunson has a chance to do something no other Nick has done in what, 50 years? And he could be the greatest Nick of all time. And there have been some greats. I mean, Clyde was there last night. Patrick Ewing was there last night to congratulate him. Brunson could wind up being the greatest Nick to ever do it. And we're watching it right unfold right before our eyes.
Meanwhile, that thud you heard is me jumping off the New York Mets bandwagon, the other
You didn't
blue
have
and
your
orange
hat
team.
today.
Oh my gosh. A week ago, we're saying, they're playing reasonably well. They're winning some series, and here comes a really soft spot in the schedule. And what do? They lose 2 out of 5, including getting swept by the Marlins. Like this can't happen. It just can't happen. And you look at what, teams at this point, we're 40%, give or take a percentage point. We're about 40% of the way through the season.
Right.
So by now you have a pretty fair idea of what you have. And what the Mets have is absolutely nothing. Sellers at the deadline? Who? Who are you going to sell? The entire
I'll cover my mouth.
roster, with the exception of Soto, who's been injured every so often. He's been in and out of the lineup. With the exception of Soto, the entire roster has underperformed. This goes beyond firing the manager. It goes beyond firing the general manager. I will die on that hill that they needed to get rid of some of the guys in that clubhouse last year. Clearly something wasn't working.
Right.
But the guys they brought in, what are they going to do? What reset are they going to do now?
Right. Right. And, you look at the offseason moves. They dealt McNeil to Oakland, Sacramento, whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, to future Las Vegas, to the A's, Athletics, and Nimmo for Semien. That blew up in their face. Look at what Nimmo's doing in Texas. And his numbers are astronomical compared to Semien. They brought in Bichette. Nothing is working for this team. Devin Williams seems to have found his footing as the closer, and we'll use that loosely for now because I still think there's going to be a blow up of epic proportions here and there from him. They're pitching, Clay Holmes got hurt unfortunately during the Yankees series, but other than that, what has stood out? Freddie Peralta is marginal at best.
At best.
So what moves did they do that, won them the offseason once again, and yet everybody is underperforming? I don't know what you do with this team when Washington comes in and beats you for a series. The Marlins smoke you. Um, you know, and now I'm looking back at the Yankees series, and I was saying, maybe the Mets turned the corner, like we were saying on last week's episode. It could have been the Yankees playing down to the competition, thinking they were coming in for a cakewalk. And I think it could have been a lot of factors, but this team is just not competitive. It's just not.
Well, to stay with the Yankees for a second, I still think they're a 500 team, not for the course of the season, but over
Right.
this run. They've got a number of different question marks. Volpe, by the way, playing much better
Yep.
since he's been called up. He had a bump here and there with an error and some strikeouts. I still think he will play to the back of his card when it's all said and done,
Yep.
but he has played better. I think that their biggest move, they need a closer. I don't know where they're going to get one, but they absolutely have to find a closer. Actually, I take that back. I know they're where they can get one. I just don't think these two teams would be willing to trade with one another. And that would be the Boston Red Sox.
To get
And
Chapman.
to go back to the Mets for a second, they make a managerial change. Fire Alex Cora, regarded by many as one of the best managers in baseball. I think they're a game over 500 cents. So you fired him
Right.
for that,
Right.
and you have an offense that's underperforming. The pitching's doing reasonably well.
Right.
One of the outfielders is gone. I think it's going to be Duran. I was kind of surprised that Duran did not get traded in the offseason, but Aroldis Chapman is there, and Chapman's pitching well.
Well,
And Chapman knows New York.
Yeah.
Chapman has succeeded in New York. I don't know if these two teams would make a deal with one another. Maybe there's a third team involved
Right.
that could get this done, but the Red Sox are going nowhere. I don't care how close they are in the wild card standings. They still have to climb over six teams. They're going nowhere. So there's a couple of possibilities right there for trade purposes. And I'll stay with the Red Sox for a second. Here's a hot take. Have you noticed how quiet everything surrounding Jason Varitek is?
yes.
You are not hearing a single thing about him. And the reason why, I think, is he's the next manager.
Really?
Yes.
That is a hot
that-
take.
I think Varitek is going to be named the manager. I don't know when that'll be, maybe the end of this season. It's a lost cause.
Right.
This season's over. Forget it. It's a lost cause. I think at the end of the year, they don't even bother with Chad Tracy. Hey, thanks a lot for 2026. Right. We'll see you in Worcester. I think Jason Varitek will be the manager of the Red Sox in 2027.
I think that they could do a hell of a lot worse. He's somebody that's revered by the fans, knows the organization in and out, has been a staple of the organization for as long as we can remember. I think it would be a hell of a choice. I still think, you were idiotic to let go of Cora, but that horse is out of the barn. So how do you repair it? I think you get over on the fans by putting Varitek in there and letting him manage. I think that's a good call. And I think, you know what, if that comes to fruition, we got to save this and go back to it. We're going to start calling you the Great Karnak Part 2.
Yeah, I can hold up a piece of paper over my head like
exactly
the envelope. He's been very quiet. You're not hearing his name. His wife tweeted something shortly after everything happened, and there was some grumbling among the coaches who were let go. But since that time, you've heard nothing. So I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. And I think that about does it for the week. We got the Knicks, we got the Mets, we got the Yankees, we got Varitek. You know the drill. If you like what we do, tell a friend. You hate what we do, tell an enemy. Just tell somebody. Like, subscribe, comment, do all of those crazy things.
Exactly. Do all the social media things, and we'll talk next week, Jim.